So I want to talk about the biology of belief, and this is advocated by Bruce Lipton. And the premise here is that cells affects thoughts. So our DNA is controlled by factors outside the cell, like positive and negative thoughts. So in effect, our thoughts can change our bodies and well-being, so we can become powerful like an elephant or smart like a doctor. So another question here would be, if we can affect our cells and our DNA with our thoughts, can we affect our IQ? Let's go a bit further here and look at what is called the placebo effect. Let's put it in context. John has been suffering headaches, really bad headaches, for several days. The doctor goes, here's a pill. He takes the headache, he takes the pill, and the headache goes away. One would assume that the pill is some form of paracetamol. But in truth, the pill is a sugar pill. So the pill has a placebo effect. In one form, the biology of belief can become quite inspirational, because if we believe that our thoughts are a currency that can have a positive change, then that would mean that our thoughts are an important part of real estate that we need to own. So if we own our thoughts and we can nurture them in a positive way, then we are more likely to create more positive we're more likely to create a more positive outcome. But I think that this should not be mistaken with, I think I'm going to win the lottery and therefore I will win the lottery. I think I'm going to be the tennis world champion and therefore I am going to be the tennis world champion. Of course, at that level, the mindset is important, but the mindset wouldn't be the only thing. It would be mentorship, it would be having a certain genetic structure, it would be having a certain sporting intelligence, etc. On one hand, one person can say, can you think yourself into being Shakespeare? And when we say, can we think ourselves into being Shakespeare, we become this great writer. But then on the other hand, are we saying that you could become Shakespeare, but you would have to nurture a very long process of creative writing, mentorship, and also have that creative ability also?
Exactly, because otherwise you are delusional. You can think of yourself being a Shakespeare by being nothing like Shakespeare, or you can think of yourself becoming like Shakespeare and being inspired and actually doing something about it.
Well, I think you made the best argument I've ever heard for homeopathy when you were talking about the placebo effect. So homeopathy on any rational basis can have no effect at all. You dilute everything in water to the point that it vanishes, and there is nothing measurable whatsoever left. And yet some people find it effective, and against all evidence to the contrary seem to swear by it. So the only explanation I can think of for that is that there's a positive placebo effect. In other words, it actually influences outcomes. But regarding the state of mind that creates what appears to be more luck or less luck, there is actually a really good book called The Luck Effect. And what it details is a host of scientific research that tries to characterize people's state of mind when they appear to be more lucky, if you like. And there's a very noticeable and strong correlation between the willingness to take opportunities and having a positive feeling about what the outcome will be, and luck itself, apparent luck, in other words, positive outcomes, compared with people who are so risk averse and so opportunity averse that they simply talk themselves out of taking the opportunities that bring the luck. So I think there is very good evidence to say that luck can be generated by the state of mind, and But there are a few more factors as well. So, for example, there's whether people are willing and able to try new ways of solving the same problem to get a positive outcome, the neophilic effect, as it's called. Secondly, the persistence. In other words, do you give up at the first hurdle or will you carry on? And the third thing is courage. In other words, you will probably, in most ventures in life, come across things which feel a bit threatening and manifest as these risks. And the courage that you have to see them through is another trait which is, has a positive benefit. And what it all turns into is something that is effectively there's a scientific measure for this as well, which is the relationship between exploring and exploiting. So if you think of animals, and this applies to humans, animals will go and find their food in the regular place where they find them. If it's a bat, it might be a fruit tree. But they'll spend a certain amount of the time flying off in a completely different direction. And the reason for that is to find the next source of food when this one runs out. And they will do that even before the current ones run out. Now, clearly, if they spend all their time exploring, they will probably run out of food. In that all they will do too much exploring. And if they do too much exploitation when they've eaten all the fruit, they will have nothing to go on to next. And there's a ratio of explore and exploit, which is a distribution that is well known for most animal species, but also for humans. And so I would say there's extremely strong evidence that that there is a biology, psychology, luck triangle that is very, very strongly related, and very much so the biology effect is there.
So if you enjoyed this video on the biology of belief, why not check out one of my playlists? This will be located either on the top left or top right hand side.